Korean traditional markets are a disappearing custom, overshadowed by the super advanced technology brewing in Korea. However, they have all the Korean food you have been dreaming of. Welcome to Seomun Market, only on Albi Eats World. Hey guys, welcome back to our last Daegu episode. I hope you enjoyed our visits to the city center and to Anjirang Gopchang Street. This time, we'll visit Seomun Market, one of the big 3 traditional markets in Korea. Quickly, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to Albi Eats World. But now, this is Seomun Market. Seomun Market is located very close to the center of Daegu, so you definitely have no excuse to skimp on this exciting place. If you are shopping in Dongseong-no, the electrifying shopping avenue in the middle of the city, you will be just a 20-minute walk away from the market. Get on the main street called Gupcheobo-sangro and walk westward until you see your destination. I promise you, it's big, you can't miss it. It is the perfect place to experience some traditional culture and to grab a bite for lunch or dinner. Let me tell you a bit about Seomun Market. It is the largest market in the city, with around 4,000 shops. The market is composed of a mix of buildings of different sizes, big ones, small ones, and also just shops in the open air. It used to be a place focused on textiles, but it has evolved today to be a bit more food-oriented and one of the city's main attractions. It actually has a long and rich history. It is said to have first appeared in the end of the 19th century in what is known as the Late Joseon period. However, it was established in its current form in the 1920s and it has existed ever since. Seomun Market is actually famous in the country for another grim reason. It has been the location of 2 devastating fires in 2005 and 2016. But don't worry, as it is such an iconic place in Daegu, they had to rebuild it and it is as thriving as ever. So once your legs have gotten their fair share of walking, it is time to try some of the local delicacies. Eating at the market is very casual, as you would expect. You just find an empty spot at a restaurant you like and sit down. I'm usually not big on veggies, but look how amazing all of these look. Koreans really know how to make veggies look good. First, we're having bibimbap, the national dish of Korea as selected for the 1988 Seoul Olympics. It is a mix of rice, vegetables and gochujang, a very spicy chili sauce that you will fall in love with. It is a very healthy dish. But more interestingly, we will also try a less known dish, sujebi, known as hand-pulled dough soup. This was my first and only time eating this. Thinking back, I don't remember ever seeing it outside of traditional markets. It consists of roughly cut pieces of dough in a very light and warming soup, which is made with anchovies and kelp. This is the base of all Korean soups. It is the perfect dish for a cold and rainy day. That was really good. But let's move on to my favorite type of Korean food, the pochang matcha kind. Pochang matcha are the classic street food stalls, and most of them serve sundae, which we saw in the Dongseong-no episode, and tteokbokki, the most loved and most delicious dish you can dream of. Every friend I ever introduced this to just fell in love with the dish. Together with this, we will be eating Daegu style mandu. Mandu is the Korean version of dumplings, and they are totally delicious. Daegu mandu in particular are flat, which is different from the more classic ones you can find in Seoul. And the best thing you can do is to eat mandu and tteokbokki together in the same plate. Tteokbokki is chewy rice cakes in a very spicy, sweet and salty chili sauce. I love the dumplings covered with that sauce. Here is an extra shot of tteokbokki in a very traditional place. Look at it bubbling away. We all know what's coming next. Even though we ate a lot, it's time for dessert. And let me tell you about my favorite one that I've teased you with multiple times, hot top, the Korean pancake. This doughy delicacy is filled with brown sugar, which melts when cooked on the hot pan. Other common fillings include honey, cinnamon, and chopped peanuts. All delicious. The cooking process gives hot dog a very crunchy exterior and very soft interior. are beautiful juxtapositions of textures. Amazing. They're so sweet and delicious. You must try one if you ever get the chance. I don't know if you could tell from this video, but traditional markets in Korea are in a period of great change. Once the beating heart of their respective cities, the number of people relying on these for everyday needs is sharply decreasing, replaced by more modern and advanced shops. If you want to learn more about the current state of Korean's market, I recommend you check out Dan and Joe's YouTube channel, where they talk about many hard to talk about aspects of Korean culture while still showing a type of beauty of the country that is often forgotten in the glitzy K-pop videos and K-dramas. Now, let's go back to Central to do some last-minute shopping and for the final dinner before leaving Daegu. I was feeling extra lazy that day, so I took the tube back. It will take you less than 5 minutes total, probably. And you can also shop in the subway if you want. Look at all those shops. And here we are. Let's enjoy some final views of the busy city center. It's always so much fun to go out in the evening in Korea. It's so busy and lively. For dinner, let's visit this trendy and modern establishment. Here we will have jjigae, a delicious spicy pork belly stew. While we wait for our order, let me introduce you to this peachy drink called Cool Star. It is the drink of choice for Koreans when having spicy foods. It is super sweet and it kinda feels like drinking milk. I'm addicted and always buy it when I see it in the shops. But finally, the food is here. In this particular interpretation of the dish, you will find pork, tofu, onions and zucchini in a really spicy but savory and delicious soup. It comes with rice with a heart-shaped egg. Not traditional, I would say. To this, we add seaweed, fish cakes, fermented vegetables, bean sprouts, and a nice ladle of our amazing soup. We also got some extra spam on the side to add on top. Look at this beautiful plate. Well, look at it because it won't last much longer. Mix it all up and it will be just like the bibimbap we've eaten earlier. Mixing all the ingredients like this ensures you get an equal amount of all of them with each bite. Daegu is not a top place for tourism in Korea, as there are more beautiful cities, but it is a very earthy place with lots of amazing food and kind people. If you ever happen to be in the area, maybe on your way to Busan, I recommend you stop for a day. Perhaps I'm not good at expressing this in words, but beneath the flashy image of Korea that is sold across the world, there is a more complex, interesting and beautiful country that has a lot of stories to tell. So, this is the end of our Daegu series. What did you think? Which would be your first activity in this amazing city? Shopping in the center, overdosing on Gopchang in Anjirang Gopchang Street, or visiting the traditional market? Let me know in the comments below and remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. In the next episode, we'll move to a little town that is nicknamed the perfect place in Korea. And as always, ciao for now!